Yasmine, Yasmine, welcome to Empower Network TV. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too. It's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
For those of you that don't have not met Yasmine yet, Yasmine is like her inner child is very much intact. And I met Yasmine on one of our networking events, our first date networking events. And that's where you can come out and meet 10, 12, 15, 20 new people and form amazing new connections. There's one going on right now, actually live, that Liz Urbina is the MC of in the group. So I saw Yasmine on there, and Yasmine shared, because you get to share a bit of who you are on these networking events, what you're passionate about, what problem you're solving in the world, what was your favorite childhood stuff, toys, games you played. So I'm excited that I'm interviewing you. So we entitled this Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my. So let's just jump right in. Can you start with the realm that you go to play, discover, and change things in yourselves and on the planet?
So the story is everyone has their story and everyone can change their timeline. I think loads of people know that now, though. But mine was in 2002. I was in hospital 3 months. I was given 5 years to live maximum. But while I was doing that, like my body was rejecting my heart. I had like 40,000 more white blood cells, and I know it's crazy, but it was really painful. It was like Freddy Krueger had hold of my heart and wouldn't let it beat. It was an amazing amount of pain, like anyway. Then when that wasn't happening, because I had heart failure, my lungs were filling with water, but I had 6 kids, 6 adorable little kids, and I couldn't cope. So I would go off to this world where everything was okay. They would appear as little creatures. They each had their own little creature. Because there's so many, I can't go through them all. Do you know what I mean? But I could move and I could run and I could play with them, and like I could interact with them in this place. So it was my zone, and I loved that place. Meanwhile, every time I went to the hospital, they said, like, your heart's too diseased and my valves weren't really working. So they said, that's it for me. So I stopped going there, and I started going to the realm more, because in the realm, you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, you don't have to there's no school runs, there's no, do you know what I mean? It's all done for you. It's like, so yeah, so like I had this idea in 2020. In 2020, when COVID hit, because I got loads of kids, I fled. I took one of them with me, the autistic one, and I fled to Barbados, because I didn't want to, well, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die and have it on there, because I'm fighting heart disease, I'm fighting asthma, I'm fighting like a blood disorder, I'm fighting like a bone disorder. I'm fighting a lot. So, my imagination, have you seen Doctor Strange? Like, when that guy, like the guy that's hurt, that was playing basketball, and he asked him where he has to go. I can't remember his name, but he says, right, that he's using the power of the dark realm to keep his body, like, so he can, like, because but I use imagination, pure imagination, because technically, like my body, my heart, in 2022, February, I was given all clear. My heart, no tablets, 22 tablets to zero. That's crazy, right? And all I did is build this realm. But Barbados looks a lot like that realm. Do you know what I mean? And like recently I found out like Level Goddard uses this, in his teachings. But basically you build a realm, right? And you go in, you pretend you're in there. And the key is pretend, right? Because you're imagining you're pretending, but it's the pre-work. Everyone leaves out the pre-work. Because if you're in a bad mood and you go in that realm, then you get a wobble, and that wobble is not good. It's gonna, you go in there in the realm with hate. Hate's gonna come back at you. But you got to go in there like with a clear, loving, kind. Take all the seriousness out, guys. Even if it's 10 minutes, just take it out. Just imagine like a bag and put it in there, put it tight, throw it to whoever you believe in, like Source, Energy, Creator, God. Just leave it with them for a bit. You know what I mean? And just go and have fun. Like the things that you're scared of. Like I was really scared of flying alone. I was really scared of like going. I went to a million water parks with my kids, and I'd never go down one of those big slides. I wrote down all the things I was scared of, and I did them. because I really wanted to give this to the world. I really wanted to show everyone this is so easy and it's so fun. You don't need, no, you just need a daydream throughout the day. And that's it, basically. It's so much fun. And you
Yes.
know, like how you know when you're kids and you like with the slide, you really want to do that. So you do it in your mind's eye, like they're like athletes. They win and they win and they win and they win. And then when you finally do it, put it this way, when you go down a slide, you can't go back up. Do you know what I mean? So you got to do it. And it's just so much fun, guys. And I really want to like put it out there because that's all you need. And then your world totally changes. And then you
Okay.
become crazy like me.
Okay. So how do you build your realm? Like, is it you're letting yourself go back to being a kid and imagining the realm? And do you
No, I didn't. I just let it come to me. Like you mean you got act. I got a thing. I squished activation with a meditation and an adventure. So you know, like you've got a place that you love. You've got a place that you've always wanted to go. You've got a place in your heart that you know that you absolutely adore. That's it. Just go there. You don't have to have one. You can have loads, but that one will do for now.
can it
And
be
then
a real like can it be a real place on earth? Does it have to be imaginary? Like I love Disneyland. I love Disneyland. Could I just go there in my mind, or does it have to be fictitious?
well, the thing is, right, if you are very human, it's best not to be human. It's best to choose an animal. I mean, what I got my clients to do is write down their attributes, and I said they're not allowed to cheat. And then they had to write down the first animal or superhero or whatever came into their minds, and then they were that person. Like there was a hummingbird that had a palm tree, and she had her own adventure. So like when you're a hummingbird, you're not thinking of bills or I haven't done that. I've got to send that email out. You can't because you're a hummingbird. Your basic thing is flying and it's really cool to fly. Do you know what I mean? And like you don't need to live for a little while. Or you could be a tiger. Like when I was a kid, well, I still live in Tiger Bay, but I didn't really have a good relationship with my parents or my siblings. So I in my imagine these tiger trees birth these tigers, and these tigers were a version of my mum. There's always a version of my mum and a version of my dad and a version of my siblings, but these versions love me. Do you know what I mean? In these versions, you're accepted and you belong, and they absolutely adore you. And obviously, in this world, that doesn't always, like you can go back. I mean, I've gone back to when I was a child, and I've totally changed, tweaked it. So, like, I do feel love now, and I had to feel what I felt back then, or I wouldn't have been able to do this. Yeah.
Keep going. It's I just want to say I love what you're saying because this last year, a big part of the healing that I've enjoyed is coming back to being a child and coming back to being childlike and to being in my heart. And I think I cut off a lot of those parts of my heart because I didn't want to feel because it was not a safe place for decades. So keep going, please, because what you're saying
It's
is
scary. It's scary because I wanted to do this, right? So I did a loads and loads and loads of RTT, rapid transformational therapy, because I was a shadow of myself. Like I literally couldn't breathe. I was a crap mum because I couldn't breathe. Mums are supposed to breathe. They're supposed to be able to move around, and I couldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? My poor kids, but I made it up to them because like like Think and Grow Rich. I walked into the bank, right? I said, "Hey, Mr. Bankman, they told me I'm going to die in like 5 years, and I really want to take the kids to Disney Florida. I've never been on a plane in my life, yeah." And he gave 17,000, bless him. I give it back, and then I had 11,000, give it back, and then I keep on giving it back but I didn't know I was going to still be around. Me and my kids been to Disney twice. They opened. They were the little one was 3, and the oldest one was 13. They opened their doors, and there was like giraffes and zebras, and like can you imagine? Like I couldn't give that kind of childhood when in the UK, but wherever it was warm, and like in Barbados, I was the person in the dream or the realm. Like I could run and play and beat them, play. Do you know what I mean? Not beat them like, but like, you know, and beat them in swimming and beat them in like, and bury them in the sand. Do you know what I mean? I could be like a real mum, But yeah, this stuff is so easy, and it's life changing. Because basically you carry on the daydream. Like if you're driving, if you're at the lights, and I wrote a book. I haven't published it yet, but like kind of starts off when I'm driving down my street and my car is full of kids. It used to always be full of kids, and it was a 7-seater full of a million kids. And one part would be like the train track, and then I would change it to Barbados, and then the waves, and obviously I have to stop at a red light, so then it would go, and then but like the kids are like arguing or chatting or doing whatever kids do, bless them, and I would be there, but because I wanted to stay alive, and I knew that being in the realm and overlapping meant that I wasn't in any pain. It's as simple as that, guys. It's as simple as that. And they don't, well, I'm not sure if it's out there like this, but this is so playful and this is so fun and this is so easy. And I've got a Facebook page, and I was group, and I was doing these little lives before Christmas. They're kind of freaking scary because I wasn't as confident back then, obviously, but it's just little snippets of how you do it and how you anchor in that realm, and how even if you don't feel loved, you go back to that your favorite place with your favorite characters, with your favorite scenarios, like like you've always wanted that scenario like you've seen it on a film, or that one where they're on the beach and they run towards each other, or stuff like that, the ones it just and you play it, and then as soon as you hit the spot and you feel so blissful, then you imagine a dial, and then you turn it up, and then you turn it up until you think you can explode, right? And then you have that on repeat. So when anything don't go your way, you just press play, or press pause according to where you are in your daydream or in your realm. And then nobody can get to you. Nobody can get to you when you're in that zone. You're like Abraham Hicks calls it the vortex. And Abraham Hicks, whenever she talks about like imagination, she always like points to, well, you're already there if you're imagining it.
You're getting into reality creation then, because I'm just starting to learn this. Whatever I imagine, whatever I dwell on, produces a chemical state, and my body produces the chemicals based on the thoughts I'm dwelling on. And I've been dabbling in this last year. It's allowing me to
But
create
what I want to say you to before you do that, right? Make sure that your mind's clear. Meditate first, or before you imagine, make sure that your heart's like aligned with your head or your thoughts, because if there's any kind of wobble, like seriously, I was walking down my my street to go home from my dad's 3 days before COVID hit, and then I was in Barbados doing exact same thing on that street, which overlaps the same street in Barbados. So sometimes it happens really fast, but I learned the hard way, guys, because it's not all like because like when you do it when you're not in a good state, like a paradise is not a paradise without your people. Do you know what I mean? So it'll take you there, but then your people's not there. I mean, for 444 days, I was without my family. That kind of hurt, and it hurt then. So make sure when you do this, don't do it out of like greed, don't do it out of anger, don't do it out of, if anything, you're going to meditate your 5-10 minutes or whatever you do first, and then imagine. Make sure your heart's in a really good place. Like appreciation's what got me there, because I don't take my heartbeats for granted, and I don't take my breath for granted. Do you know what I mean? It's a blessing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what to call it, but it's miracle maybe, because I think that I'm here to show people. I don't know. There's I don't know how spiritual you are, but there's supposed to be a split between 3D and 4D and whatever soon, and I want to do this kind of fast because I don't think the people that don't know should be split when they don't know. I just think they should get happier. Just do this and just get happier and be 4D or be high vibrational. It's so easy.
So how do you integrate this with being a mom now? How do you play in
Oh,
this
they're
realm with
grown.
your... Okay.
They're grown. They're a million years old now. I made it because one of my things on my bucket list was to watch them grow, and they're cool. They're really cool kids as well. They're not like they're really cool, which is a miracle considering their childhood.
And do they incorporate this? Do they do this realm thing?
um, they know how to do it. I don't know because I keep out of their realms because I think it's personal. Do you know what I mean? And then I could mess that up, and I don't want to mess their realm up. I want it then to. I want that it to be private. If you know, I mean, I would if I asked you, like we're not related, so it doesn't have a knock on effect. Do you know what I mean? But whatever their realm is, has got a knock on effect. So if I want to go to Barbados and they don't want to go to Barbados, then it's going to affect both of us. So in my head, like in the future, like I'm in Barbados and they visit me whenever they want, like this, and I visit them whenever they want. It's like freedom. There's no, do you know what I mean? There's no animosity. There's no icky stuff. So by not knowing their realm, then I can stay in a state of bliss, which is kind of selfish, I guess. But then they seem bliss as well. So if they wasn't, I would help out.
I love it. Yes, I love it. I love what you're... I just like to turn the dial up on you. Just turn the dial up. So do you have any links you can drop after in the Facebook group and in the comment section after I tag you?
Yeah, yeah,
To
I've got a Facebook group. I did like loads of little. I mean, to be honest, I'm like you because you don't go on forever, So like people say, they'll see half an hour. Oh, I want to watch. I got half an hour. I can watch Amos. But when people go on for an hour or over, it's just we don't have the attention span for that. That's what I'm just saying. Like daydream throughout the day, little pockets of daydreams, and your life will change. I mean, I've got the like it's called High Achievers Portal, so I'll put the link below. But yeah, I'm ready to get this out there. You can see that. Bless you.
I I love it. I love your energy. I love that you're childlike and you're in your heart and you've given yourself permission. It makes sense because you had a crisis. You had a health crisis, which was part of the catalyst, and then you made a bunch of choices, and now you're helping others discover what you discovered through your own crisis mode. It's beautiful.
But I just like the ease of it though. You don't have to do this and you don't have to do that and you don't have to, it's just like take a deep breath, make sure there's not any anger around. Just go there. I mean, it's not a bad thing, when you do have a wobble, you still learn from the wobbles. I mean, like mistakes ain't really mistakes. They're the only way we learn. So it's okay if you feel a bit angry and you go in there and but the in my a volcano erupted. Like I wouldn't think of a volcano erupting. There's no volcanoes around here. Oh, I didn't think there was in Barbados, but it looked like an apocalypse. The whole of Barbados was covered in this plume, And I can like the sulfur because there's ash everywhere, right? And the beaches, everything looked like it was dead. Do you know what I mean? Because it's covered in ash. Like there's no bright anything, and the sulfur. And I was just thinking, do you know what? This isn't real because like I've got heart disease, I've got asthma, I've got like bone, I've got blood stuff. I mean, I'm breathing in pure sulfur. It doesn't make sense. So it doesn't like I don't know how you guys out there, but this seems more dreamlike by the day because you can really manipulate it by running timelines by each other. Like just maybe you've got one really, really blissful one where you got all your future memories of all the awesomeness that you can ever think of, and you put it in that realm, and you do it and you do it and you do it and you do it and you do it. Every time you feel a bit down, you go to that realm, you do it, you do it, you do it, even if it's just one thing, you do it. And then your life changes because the subconscious doesn't know whether it's reality or not. So it's going to shoot you more of that blissfulness because it doesn't know any different.
I hope people are picking up what you're throwing down, because I'm learning about this last year, and I've seen it works. I do a type of this every time I create something new from Power Network Television. Like I did this to launch the Catapult program, for the Catapult Games, the Catapult Plus program. This is what I do. I go into a realm and I ask questions, and I let myself open up to receive. So I love what you're saying.
Yeah, I like to keep on saying it couldn't get any easier. It couldn't get any easier. Like, like I mean, I suppose like I haven't listened to Abraham in a little while, but she always says that like get happy. That's all you gotta do is get happy. But nobody gives you the tools. Do you know what I mean? Nobody tells you how, and I tell you how, in the little tiny bits and through stories and stuff in the High Achievers portal. They're little bite size, easy to like to absorb and to try out rather than like a whoosh of like it's just your daydream. It's like your movie. If you and I don't like the hero's journey because we're always taught like hero's journey. No, just take the good bits out and put them in a row. Do you know what I mean? So don't go on that journey. It's a horrible journey. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe
Sorry.
you found a better way. Maybe you're telling us a better way. So we are looking forward to seeing more of you here at Empower Network TV. Make sure you sign up for more networking events, because you can do unlimited. And I'm really curious to watch you explode this year in 2024 and really step more and more into everything that's possible for you, because it's up to
But
you.
it's
Well,
like
for
us
us.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a
Yes.
oneness.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here today. This was so fun. This is so much fun. And now I'm thinking I got to go to Disney World, because I've heard it's like way bigger, way better Disney World in Florida than Disneyland in California. I've only been to
Oh,
Disneyland in California.
I can send you evidence. I did like I had to put a video in my head of the kids. Well, I mean, I could only imagine because I didn't really, know what it was like. I didn't look at the pictures, and then because that's what you do, guys. You put pictures and you put this video and you add colors and sounds and you add like what you can see obviously and what you can hear and you can taste and what you can touch, and then it anchors in. That's when your subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and thing. And then I made the video. I've got millions of videos because I wanted to teach my kids that I'm clever, because they didn't think I was clever. Because I wasn't this Yaz. I was like a shadow, like a mum that really couldn't breathe and couldn't move and stuff. So I wanted to show them that I've got skills. Oh, guys, and take your skills there. Like if you're frightened, right, of like kayaking, go do it in your dreams. Go do it in your daydreams and do it in your daydreams. Do it in your daydreams until it's natural for you to go kayaking. And then something will happen, a serendipity will happen, and you'll be there.
Okay, this is powerful. Thank you, Yas, for being here. This was amazing. I'm going to tag you in this interview. If Riaz has resonated with you and you're like me and you're like, man, I need to reach out to Yasmine Gulzar, she would love to connect with you. So she's going to drop her links after for High Achievers Academy
High
portal.
Achievers Portal.
Okay. Okay, drop those after, and we'll end the interview here. Thanks so much, Yaz.
Yeah.